Company of Heroes is one of the most beloved franchises for all of the World War II fans. I don't know how can you be the fan of the war, but at least for the lovers of this historical time and all the stories it generated. Being an amazing RTS, a lot of people keep this game in a very high regard. And Company of Heroes 3 had very high standards to, well, defeat. And, well, did it do it? Is it actually a good game? Should you play it or not? So in this video we're going to be talking about Company of Heroes 3 and whether it is worth it to buy right now on launch or not. So let's just get it started. As in every single one of our videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away and tell you that, well, yes, but maybe not for the full price. I'm usually against buying the games for the full price, especially on launch, because usually games are buggy and games are not finished on launch. And well, in this case, yeah, many will agree that yes, this game is not finished, but to be fair, I still liked and enjoyed it. Let me just explain what do I mean. So Company of Heroes 3 is actually an RTS, real-time strategy, but this game is actually also introducing a campaign map, more or less similar to a Total War series, where you have a turns, you have your map, and you are moving the units, etc, etc. Well, technically the game has two campaigns, one for Italy and one for North Africa. And both of them have their own storylines. And Italy one is the big one. It takes place during the invasion of Italy, and your goal is to free Italy from Axis occupants. And campaign map is, I would say, a simplified version of the Total War series. It's not a grand strategy, it's not a Hearts of Iron level game, but you have your units moving, you have your enemy positions that you can sweep before you can attack, you have your cities with their own defenses, you have your aircraft, you have your ships that can help to destroy a lot of enemies before you're gonna swoop in, and it's rather simple. You also have your skills and a bunch of different and smaller things, but to be fair, I did not spend that much time on the campaign map. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but campaign map was nothing exceptionally difficult or nothing to be talking and praising this game about. It was extremely simple. Just see what enemies have, see what you have, and just destroy the enemies and just move in with your forces into the RTS battle, or rather real-time battle. The enemies were not that aggressive. I was not attacked that often. Usually I was on offensive at all times. And unless I was very deep into enemy lines without actual support, it was pretty difficult to lose on the map. So I would not say this is anything particularly difficult. It just helps you to set the stage for your real-time battles. And the way the game actually shines is in its real-time battles. You have your infantry, you have your vehicles, and you have everything that you need. And the maps themselves are very good and extremely well designed. With their covers, buildings, streets, all of those things take insanely huge part, because you really have a limited resources. You don't have a lot of soldiers, you have your small companies, and not a lot of vehicles to, well, go into full frontal assault. So you have the ability to put some buildings and build units there as well, but it's not as big. It's not as big as, like, for example, Age of Empires or other older RTSs. It's more or less all about preserving your units, because yeah, their lives actually matter, and the strategic placement of units here are extremely important. If you'll get caught red-handed in an open field, even a single soldier, or especially the sniper, on a good position can actually mow down your entire squad. So positioning here is extremely important. Positioning your troops behind the cover, positioning your troops in the buildings on a high ground, it's extremely important. And be prepared for what your enemies have is also extremely important as well, because if all that you will do is go into a battle with your riflemen and it turns out that your enemies has 3 tanks standing in front of you in an open field, yeah, you will have very low chances of defeating enemies. So you need to be very strategic on what you do, what units you send, and where you attack from, because flanking here takes a huge role. And I will not lie to you, every single encounter is tense and very fun. Every single encounter and every single time you are on the edge of your seat. Every single attack, every single defensive position, you are on an edge of a seat, because you will never, because everything is happening so fast that you will know what will be happening up in a few seconds later. Thankfully, you have a tactical pause button which will allow you to pause and give orders to all of your units one by one, which helps you to, well, think in the heat of a battle and have higher chances to win. But I won't lie to you, fighting without that and playing without that is actually a bit more fun. And yes, this pause button is usually made for the higher difficulties, so if you're playing on lower difficulties, you actually won't need it that much. An overall game is fun, but I have to talk about what is happening on the launch. And on the launch, game is not in a bad position. Many will say, oh, it's a buggy mess, it looks awful, etc, etc. It's not in the best condition, and it will be immersion breaking quite a few times for you, but overall it's in an okay condition. But let me tell you about what is happening. First, the graphics. Graphically, the game looks, well, okay. It's not an insanely graphical spectacle, but since you are watching from pretty high level, yeah, you don't need the huge details. However, yeah, I would say that graphically for the game that came out in 2023, yeah, it does not look maybe that great, even though it did not bother me because I'm not for very high polygon graphics. As long as it runs smoothly on high resolutions, I really don't care. But where I do care is in enemy AI, and enemy AI is not good. That's why defeating enemies is pretty easy. If enemy AI is practically brain dead on a campaign map, and even in battles, yeah, they will just rush you out of the blue. You'll see a tank coming in the middle of in the middle of your circles of your other tanks and just be blown to pieces just like that. You will be seeing squads of enemies rushing you while you are in a fortified position with a machine gun, 2 tanks, and an anti-tank rifle. And it's not just enemy troops. Your troops will be making the huge mistakes as well. Like for example, when you send them in a cover, sometimes they, instead of standing behind the cover, they will stand in the front of the cover, literally in a direct line of sight of an enemy, getting mowed down like crazy. Yes, pathing has some issues and enemy AI has some issues, but also where issue is in controls, because yeah, mainly game is a mouse control. Everything that you do is with mouse, and yeah, keyboard controls are usually just for the commands. So you're moving around with the mouse, you're selecting with the mouse, but you can give away commands with the keyboard, but you can literally give away commands with the mouse as well. So practically there is very little need to use keyboard, which is tedious. It actually might be my issues where I didn't find the correct options. But yeah, controlling this type of game with the mouse, with a single mouse cursor is, well, not easy. It's not easy, it's not fun. I don't want to fight the controls, I want to fight in the game, which I didn't like. There are also some graphical glitches as well, like texture not loading. Well, it usually happened more often for me on the vehicles. Like sometimes I was seeing kind of like weird squared shaped tanks, which lacked textures and was like very blurry textures. It was not that often, but it was there as well. So overall, will I recommend you buying this game? For $60 at launch, no. Not because you will not have fun. You will have fun if you will get this game, and you will get a lot of hours from this game, because Italian campaign is, I think, 30 to 40 hours to complete, and with an African campaign you can get 60 hours plus from the game. Plus you have a multiplayer and skirmishes, and yeah, you have a really long time. Plus game is supported by mods, and I'm sure all the AIs and every issues that we have right there will be fixed by mods. I'm absolutely sure of it. But yeah, I do not support buying games for the full prices. That's what just this channel is all about. It's not about getting in there first, it's about getting a good value for the good price. And would I recommend you buying this game for $60? Well, no, I wouldn't buy this game for $60. I was not going to buy this game for $60. Even though I had this game in my wishlist, I wasn't going to buy this game for $60. Probably I would buy this game for sales, maybe for $30, probably for less years down the line. But yeah, if you want honesty, there is your honesty. So I would recommend you to wait for a sale and get this game for a sale. And most likely until then, all the bugs and all the AI issues will be ironed out. And if not, I'm pretty sure modders would have fixed everything anyway. A lot of people are jumping to the game expecting something that is leagues and leagues better and beyond the Company of Heroes 2. and they will not get it. It's the better game, but it's just in the beginning of a journey. Company of Heroes had years to develop and years to become better and better. This one, well, it just came out. It is full experience, but it will become better and better just with the years. This will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm going to see you in the next one. See ya.